Well, made it to another week, guys. So, a lot going on this past week, a lot in the news. I want to address that today as I do my walk. Before we get started, just going to be quiet here so you can hear. Beautiful morning. Thank God for waking us up. This week, we had another Fed meeting. Not too much to speak about there, as Fed Chair Powell has already told us, not a lot going to happen until we get some more losses in the economy as far as jobs are concerned, pardon me. And so a lot of the headlines that have been pushed out have to do with companies closing, folks getting laid off, and my heart goes out to you if you've experienced any of those things. So there's a lot of angst and trepidation, understandably, for those of you that are out here working in a lot of the areas that have been seeing cuts, especially in government type sectors, even in the tech sector. But for sure, if you have any type of income that's derived from the government sector or tied to it, we're seeing slowdowns. I have a couple of clients that have pretty big contracts that are tied indirectly to the government, and those things have been pushed out a little further. So the question is, how can we learn from it and what can we do? Well, you always want to make sure when times are good, you save for a rainy day, because it's going to rain. Remember, what goes up is going to come down. And there's a cycle. Business has a cycle. The economy has a cycle. And when it's good, remember that. And then for some of you guys, this might be the first time going through. You may have gotten in on a boom cycle, say residential real estate. If you got in after the pandemic happened, you'd be surprised at the amount of activity that was going on due to the circumstances, not necessarily your skill set, acumen. You were just in the right place at the right time. No shade. Preferably, if you live long enough, you will experience one of those phenomenons where you're in the right place at the right time and you've done what you had to do to capitalize. But for those that are going through it for the first time, this too shall pass, and you have to learn from it. Can you maintain, gain market share, and weather the storm, if you will? That being said, fear causes people not to forecast or plan. And listening to not just those that have been laid off, but those folks that might be dealing with student loans coming back online, and the potential or the threat of wages being garnished. Well, during this pandemic period, a lot of you that have federal student loan debt were blessed with 5+ years of no payments needed to be made. If you were delinquent prior, you were brought up current. So if you didn't forecast during that time frame to anticipate when student loans were going to come back online, if you didn't forecast, this news has caught you off guard. And so that's a lesson that we can learn this week, is that we gotta forecast. Nothing stays the same. Change is constant. Life is gonna life. Reality is gonna happen. Remember, wealthy people, wealth creation is closely tied to forecasting or planning, because that leads to action. I'm going to do these things. They may not work, but one thing that works 100% of the time, not in your favor, is non-activity, hoping this too shall pass. Anything that you have the power to deal with and control, try to deal with it and control, okay? So we got a F theme going on today. Fear, forecasting, the future. Check it out, guys. If you've not noticed, we all have an algorithm. We all have a way to think, what motivates us, what affects us. And so the algorithm pays attention to you. The example is this: if you've ever owned an animal, you know, they say dogs are a man's best friend. But if you ever have owned an animal, they pay attention to you. And it's not like it's some kind of mysterious thing, but they know you better than you know yourself, because we all have patterns, behaviors, ticks, if you will. And so when it comes to the future, I said all that to say this: nobody knows. Folks are guessing. But that doesn't mean you don't curate a list of advisors that you know, like, and trust, that might be able to help you make future decisions. Because there's wisdom is in a multitude of counsel. But just know and understand, don't none of us know. You see what I'm saying? We're trying to look at the past, what's going on now, to try to best predict what's happening in the future. So you got to get into that game as well, and not on hopium or the Vegas effect where you're gambling, but do things that are predictable, because the best predictor of the future is what you've done in the past. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Tomorrow's the end of the week. Enjoy your families. Be grateful, man. Consider where you are on this planet and understand there's somebody else that's got it worse and will change places with you in a heartbeat. So let's find and accentuate the positive. And if we could be of any assistance as it pertains to residential real estate anywhere in these United States, I'm a lender, and we specialize in simplifying the home loan process. That information is in the pinned comment and the description below. Be blessed. Peace.